So good morning, Ma'am Hazel Joy Buhanan. This is the presentation of Group 1. I am Dermonaira T. Albor. Okay, so Module 4, Period of Enlightenment. Unit 4, Lesson 4, Group 1. Here in the Philippines, we also underwent metamorphoses that brought about tremendous impact on how we live our lives today. This chapter will encompass a good example, the Age of Enlightenment.
Hello.
The Age of Enlightenment, also known as the Age of Reason or simply the Enlightenment, was an intellectual and philosophical movement that dominated the world of ideas in Europe during the 18th century. The Enlightenment included a range of ideas centered on the pursuit of happiness, sovereignty of reason, and the evidence of the senses as the primary sources of knowledge and advanced ideals such as liberty, progress, toleration, fraternity, constitutional government, and separation of church and states. That will cover literary pieces of famed writers which innovation and growth were seen and experienced during these times. Historical background. The period of Enlightenment, 1872-1898. Historical background. After 300 years of passivity under Spanish rule, the Filipino spirit reawakened when three priests, Gomez, Burgos, Zamora, were guillotined without sufficient evidence of guilt. That occurred on the 17th of February. This was buttressed with the spirit of liberalism when the Philippines opened its doors to world trade and with the coming of a liberal leader in the person of Governor Carlos Maria de la Torre, the Spaniards were unable to suppress the tide of rebellion among the Filipinos. The once rebellious spirit transformed itself into one of nationalism, and the Filipinos demanded the changes in the government and in the church. The propaganda movement, 1872-1896. This movement was spearheaded most by the intellectual middle class like Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. del Pilar, Graciano Lopez Haina, Antonio Luna, Mariano Ponce, Jose Maria Panganiban, and Pedro Paterno. The objective of this movement were to seek reforms and changes like the following. First, to get equal treatment for the
Hello.
Filipino and the Spaniards,
Ha?
Spaniards under the law. Second,
Yung sasabihin
to
ko.
make the Philippines
Yun,
a colony of
nag-GG ako.
Spain. Third, to restore Filipino representation in the Spanish courts.
Kasi nawawala
Fourth,
ako sa focus dito
to
sa report eh.
Philippinize the parishes. Fifth,
Oh, wait
to
lang, wait
give the
lang.
Filipino
Bumabalik
freedom
ako
of
focus ko.
speech, of the press, assembly, and for redress of grievances. Highlights of the propaganda movement. There were three principal leaders
Hello.
of the propaganda movement: Dr. Jose P. Rizal,
Saan
Marcelo
ka?
H. del Pilar, and Graciano Lopez Haina.
Sige na, sige na. Chat lang ako.
Dr. Jose P. Rizal, Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado Alonzo Irialonda, was born on June 19, 1861 at Calamba, Laguna. He died by musketry in the hands of the Spaniard on December 30, 1896 on charges of sedition and rebellion against the Spaniards. His pen name was Laong Laan and Dimasalang. So this is the image about the Mercado family, woman in the life of Jose Rizal, and of course how he died. Return the page, bro. Okay, so, ang totoong pangalan ni Dr. Jose Rizal ay Dr. Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonzo Rialonda. Siya ay isang Pilipinong bayani at isa sa pinakatanyag na tagapagtaguyod ng pagbabago sa Pilipinas noong panahon ng pananakop ng mga Kastila. Inilala bilang isang pinakamagaling na bayani at tiningala bilang isa sa mga pambansang bayani ng Pilipinas ng lupon ng mga pambansang bayani. Siya ay minanganak sa isang mayamang angkan sa Calamba, Laguna noong Hunyo 11, 1861. Ang pangalan ng kanyang ama ay si Francisco Ignacio Rizal Mercado y Alejandro at ang pangalan ng kanyang ina ay si Teodora Morales Alonzo Rialonda y Quintos. Pag-aral ni Rizal. Si Rizal ay tinuruan ng kanyang ina. Nagsilbing unang paaralan ni Rizal ang kanilang tahanan na ang mismong ina na si Doña Teodora ang una niyang naging guro at ating kilala na bilang Dr. Jose Rizal ay paboritong tawaging Pepe ng kanyang mga kapamilya. Kung kaya't maliban sa kanyang ina, nagkaroon din si Pepe ng pribadong mga guro na sina Maestro Lucas Padualin, Moroy at Celestino ay siya rin ang naunang natutong magbasa at magsulat kesa sa iba pa niyang mga kapatid. Dahil nga naman, likas sa kanyang pagiging matalino. Si Rizal ay nag-aral din sa Binyan. Naging normal na bata din siya. Nagkaroon ng mga karanasan. Nakaranas din siya ng mga pambubulas. Nag-aral din si Rizal sa Ateneo Municipal de Manila at nakakuha ng diploma sa Bachelor ng Sining. Ang Ateneo de Manila ang unang paaralan sa Maynila na pinasukan ni Rizal noong 8 Enero 1872 at sa kanyang pananatili sa panahong ito, natanggap niya ang lahat ng pangunahing medalya at notang sobresaliente sa lahat ng aklat. Ang sobresaliente ay ang pinakamataas na karangalan. Noong 1887, pumasok si Rizal sa Universidad ng Santo Tomas upang mag-aral ng kursong medisina. Ngunit, hindi niya ito natapos kahit mataas pa ang kanyang mga marka. Kinakailangan niyang umalis ng Pilipinas sapagkat napag-initan na siya ng mga Espanyol nang dahil sa kanyang mga naisulat. At pagkatapos noon ay pinagpatuloy niya ang kanyang pag-aaral sa Universidad Central de Madrid, sa Madrid, Espanya. Si Rizal ay maraming kayang gawin. Si Rizal ay bihasa sa pagiging isang doktor. Si Rizal ay mahusay rin sa pagpinta, pagguhit, paglililok at pag-ukit. At hindi lang yon, kundi dahil si Rizal ang magaling rin bilang isang manunulat, siya ay isang makata at nobelista. Bukod pa rito, may iba pang kayang gawin si Rizal. Si Rizal ay nakakapagsalita at nakakaunawa ng 22 wika. Ang aking mga binanggit ay mga kakayahan ni Dr. Jose P. Rizal. So dahil nabanggit na naging isa siyang mahusay na doktor, ang una niyang naging pasyente ay ang kanyang ina. At ang kanyang naging unang guro ay ang kanyang ina. May mga iba pang nagagawa si Rizal. Itinatag niya ang La Liga Filipina, isang samahan na naging daan sa pagkabuo ng katipunan na pinaminuan ni Andres Bonifacio, isang lihim na samahan na nagpasimula ng himagsikang Pilipino laban sa Espanya. So, mga kapatid ni Rizal. Back page po, bro. Back. Si Rizal ay maraming mga kapatid. Saturnina, 1850 to 1913. Siya ay kilala sa tawag na Neneng. He married into a man who is named Miguel Hidalgo of Nanawan, Batangas. Pasiano, 1851-1930. Pagkatapos ng ekshibisyon ni Rizal, sumali siya sa Pilipinas o Philippine Revolution at naging combat general. Third, Narcisa, 1852-1930. She is known as Sisa and he married to Antonio Lopez, a teacher in Molon. Olympia, 1855-1887. She is known as Pia, o kilala sa tawag na Pia, and she married to Silvestre Olbaldo, isang operador ng telegrapo sa Maynila. Lucia, 1857-1919. She married to Mariano Harbosa of Calamba at namatay si Harbosa sa sakit ng kolera at pinagkaitan ng pangkristyanong libing dahil sa asawa niya ay kapatid ni Jose Rizal. Next was Maria, 1859-1845. She married to Fausto Cruz of Binyan, Laguna. Next is Dr. Jose P. Rizal, ang pambansang bayani ng Pilipinas o the National Heroes of the Philippines. That is known for Pepe. Next is Concepcion, 1862-1865. He died when he was 3 years old at ang kamatayan niya ang unang naging kalungkutan ni Pepe o ni Rizal. Josefa, 1865-1945. Si Josefa ay namatay sa edad na 80. Next was Trinidad, 1868-1951. Namatay sa edad na 83. Soledad, 1817-1929. He married to a man was named Pantaleon Quintero of Calamba. So narito naman ang mga naging kasintahan ni Pepe o ni Dr. Jose P. Rizal. Woman in the life of Jose Rizal. Julia Celeste Smith. Noon ay buwan ng Abril, 1887. Rizal, go to the river and we go there in Los Baños, Laguna. Siyempre, nung pumunta siya doon, ano pa yung reason niya? Of course, para maligo. This time, when he saw a beautiful lady whose name Julia. At mula noon, larawan ni Julia o Julia ang nakakintal sa isipan ni Rizal. But like the other young men, ang paghanga niya, nalimutan ay nakakilala ng isang dalagita na taga Lipa, Batangas. Si Segunda Katigbak. Who is Segunda Katigbak? Si Segunda na siya ang unang pag-ibig ni Rizal. Siya ay sinasabi ng unang pag-ibig ni Rizal na taga Lipa, Batangas. Rizal picture out Segunda na may mahabang buhok. May mga matang nangungusap at maapoy kung minsan at mapanglaw. Naman sa ibang pagkakataon, malarosas na kutis na may kasamang nakakatuksong ngiti. But Jose Rizal stopped himself to fall in love to Segunda dahil batid niya na naipangako na ito sa ibang lalaki. This man was Manuel Luz, but Jose Rizal still continue visiting her. Jacinta Ibardo Laza. Rizal call her as Binibining El, and she is older than him. Si Jacinta Ibardo Laza ay maputi at nagtataglay ng matang kaakit-akit. That it believes that she is the teacher Vicente Ibadar Loza na madalas dalawin ni Rizal, bagamat ang puso nga niya ay patuloy na nangungulila kay Segunda at nalilito lamang kung minsan. Subalit, pagkatapos noon ay pinagbawalan pa rin ng ama ni Rizal na siya ay dumalaw. Leonor Valenzuela. Nang ikalawang taon ni Rizal sa UST ay nakilala niya si Leonor, na kapitbahay ng may-ari ng kanyang tinutuluyan, and they are exchanging letter. At upang hindi malaman na sila'y may kaugnayan, tinuruan ni Rizal si Leonor sa pagsulat na ang tinatawag na ginagamit ay tubig at asin. Subalit hindi nagtagal ang kanilang pag-ibigan at nagkasundo na lamang sila na maging kaibigan or as a friend. Leonora Rivera. She is the second Leonor in the life of si Rizal. Nagtagpo ang landas nila ng ipagsama ni siya na ang kapatid sa bahay ng kanyang tiyo na si Antonio Rivera, that Leonor Rivera's father. Ang pagmamahalan nila naramdaman nang nasugatan si Rizal sa isang pag-aaway ng mga estudyante sa UST at ginamot siya ni Leonor. Matagal ang dalawang nagkahiwalay when Rizal go to Madrid until Leonor married into other man, Henry Kiping, in June 17, 1891. Next is Consuelo Ortega Rey. Jose Rizal was not really a handsome man, but Jose Rizal has so many talents. He has a lot of skills, a talented and intelligent person. That's why nagustuhan siya ng magandang anak ni Don Pablo in Madrid, that is Consuelo. There are two reasons why Rizal did not agree on their relationship. Umayaw si Rizal sa relasyon nila. Also, may kasunduan na sila ni Leonor ng kanyang kaibigan at kasamahan sa propaganda na si Eduardo ay may gusto rin kay Consuelo. Next is Gertrude Beckett. Siya ay anak ng may-ari ng bahay na tinirhan ni Rizal. Nang magtungo siya sa London, inilarawan ni Rizal si Beckett bilang babaeng may kulay brown na buhok, asul na mga mata at mapupulang mga pisngi. Subalit hindi rin nagtagal at umalis siya sa London upang makalimutan na siya ni Beckett at ipagpatuloy ang misyon sa Maynila. Next, Nellie Bus. Siya ay isang babaeng maganda, matalino, mahinhin, may mataas na moralidad at totoong Pilipina. May dalawang dahilan din kung bakit hindi niyaya ni Rizal na pakasalan si Nelly. First, ayaw ng ina ni Nelly kay Rizal. At ayaw palipat ni Rizal sa relihiyong protestantismo na gusto naman ni Nelly. Next was Seiko Osorio, o Sei-san. She is 23 years old and Jose Rizal was 27. Nagsimula ang pag-ibigan nila nang lumipat si Rizal sa legasyon ng Espanya sa Azabu, distrito ng Tokyo, at hinangaan siya ni Seiko sa kanyang pagkamaginoo. Doon na sana titira si Rizal, subalit mas nanaig ang kanyang misyon na ang pagpapalaya sa Pilipinas. Noong taong 1897, matapos mamatay ni Rizal, ay nagpakasal si Seiko kay Alfred Charlton. He is a British teacher of chemistry. Seiko died May 1, 1947. Next, Suzanne Jacobi. One of the reason why why Rizal was so happy when he left Belgium. Noong Abril 1871, pagkatapos niyang maisulat ang El Filibusterismo, ay bumalik siya sa Belhika. And Susan Jacobi was so really happy for it. Next, Josephine Bracken, an Irish woman, 18 years old. Nagkita sila ni Rizal nang ipagamot ni Bracken ang ama nito si George Topher sa dapitan. Then after 1 month, the two of them want to get married. Pero, tinanggihan sila ng pari, kaya't silang dalawa ay naghawak kamay at ikinasal ang kanilang sarili. At dahil sa hindi inaasahang pagkakataon, nahulog ang kanilang anak na 8 taong buwan pa lamang na pinangalanan ni Rizal na Francisco bago siya namatay. Ibinigay niya muna ang librong Imitation of Christ ni Padre Tomas Compis, and after 2 years, Josephine married to Vicente when Rizal died. At yun po ang naging pag-ibig ni Rizal or woman in the life of Rizal. Based on the information, but we did not mention the other one. So that's it. Pero hindi pa doon ang nagtatapos ang kwento.
Tangina, storytelling yun.
Wala pa po, bro. Si Rizal sa kanyang pagbabalik sa Pilipinas. Si Rizal ay maraming naisulat na libro at ilan sa mga dito ay talagang pumatok sa iba't ibang parte ng mundo. So some of his work were next. Nolimet Tangere. Nolimet Tangere, written in Spanish and published in 1887, Jose Rizal. Nolimet Tangere played a crucial role in the political history of the Philippines, drawing from experience the conventions of the 19th century novel and the ideals of European liberalism. Rizal offered up a devastating critique of society under Spanish colonial rule. El Filibusterismo. The second and last novel complete by Jose Rizal, though he left behind the unfinished manuscript of a third one. El Filibusterismo is a sequel to Nolimet Tangere, a dark, brooding, at times satirical novel of revenge, unfulfilled love and tragedy. The Fili, as it is popularly referred to, still has its protagonist Juan Crisostomo Ibarra, 13 years older, his idealism and youthful dreams shattered in taking advantage of the belief that he died at the end of Nolimet Tangere. He is described as Simon, an enormously wealthy and mysterious jeweler who has gained the confidence of the colony's governor-general. Next was Mi Ultimo Adios or My Last Farewell. Ang Mi Ultimo Adios, My Last Farewell kung sa English or Ang Huling Paalam, ay isang tulang likha ng pambansang bayani ng Pilipinas na si Jose Rizal. Isinalin ang orihinal na nasulat sa wikang Kastila sa mga panahong yon. At ngayon, marami na itong wika, kagaya namang ng Ingles, Pranses, Aleman, Italiano, Nipongo, Malayo, at marami pang iba. Gayon din na isalin din ito sa iba't ibang wikain sa Pilipinas, katulad ng Tagalog, Ilocano, Kapampangan, Pangasinan, Bicol, Sugbaon, Hiligayon at iba pa. Okay, so this is the example of Tagalog version of famous Mi Ultimo Adios. Okay. Pahimakas ni Dr. Jose Rizal. Pinipintuho kong bayan ay paalam, lupang iniirog ng sikat ng araw. Mutyang mahalaga sa dagat silangan, kaluwalhatiang sa ami pumanaw. Masayang sa iyo'y aking idudulot, ang lantakong buhay sa lubhang malungkot. Maging maringal man at labis alindog, sa kagilingan mo ay aking dinghandog. Sa pagkikidigma at pamimiyapis, ang alay ng ibay ang buhay na kip-kip. Walang agam-agam, maluwag sa dibdib, matamis sa puso at di ikahapis. Saan man mautas ay di kailangan, sipre sa laurel liryo may patungan. Makikipaghamok at ang bibitayan, yaon ay gayon din kong hilangan ng bayan. Hiling ng bayan, ako'y mamamatay ngayon na mamalas, nasa silangan ay namamanaag. Yaong maligayang araw na sisikat sa likod ng luksang nagtabing na ulap. Ang kulay na pula kong kinakailangan na maitina sa iyong liwayway. Dugo kay isalubong at siyang ikinang ng kislap ng iyong maningning na ilaw. Ang aking adhika sa pol magkaisip ng kasalukuyang bata pang maliit ay ang tanghaling ka at minsang masiling. Sa dagat silangan hiyas na marikit. Natuyo ang luha sa matay ng nunukal. Taas na ang nooy walang kapuotan, walang bakas kunot ng kapighatian. Gabahid man dungis niyong kahihiyan. Sa kabuhayan ko ang laging gunita, maningas na aking ninanasa-nasa, ay guminhawa ka ang hiyas ng diwa. Hingang papanaw ngayong biglang-bigla, paghingang papanaw ngayong biglang-bigla, ikay guminhawa laking kagandahang, ako'y malugmok at ikay matanghal. Hiningay malagot mabuhay ka lamang, bangkay ko'y masilong sa iyong kalangitan. Kung sa libingan ko'y tumubong mamalas, sa malagong damo mahinihing bulaklak, sa mga labi mo'y mangyayaring itapat, sa kaluluwa ko hatik ay igawan. So this is the Tagalog version of Mi Ultimo Adios, or My Last Farewell. Isinulat ito ni Dr. Jose Rizal before he died. Next is sobre la indolencia de los Filipinos, on the indolence of the Filipinos. On the indolence of the Filipinos in Spanish. Is a socio-political essay published in La Solidaridad in Madrid, 1890. It was written by Jose Rizal as a response to the accusation of Indio or Malay indolence. He admits the existence of indolence among the Filipinos, but it could be attributed to a number of reasons. He traces its causes to factors such as the climate and social disorders. He defends the Filipino by saying that they are by nature not indolent, because in fact, even before the arrival of Spaniard, Filipinos have been engaged in economic activities such as agriculture and trade. Indolence, therefore, has more deeply rooted causes such as abuse and discrimination. Next was Filipinas dentro de 100 años, the Philippines within a century. Or the Philippines a century hence. The Philippines a century hence is an essay written by Philippine national hero Jose Rizal to forecast the future of the country within 100 years. Rizal felt that it was time to remind Spain that the circumstances that she shared in the French Revolution could have a telling effect for her in the Philippines. Next, a la Juventud Filipina, or to the Filipino youth. A la Juventud Filipina o Tagalog sa kabataang Pilipino ay isang tula na orihinal na nakasulat sa wikang Kastila at isinulat ng Pilipinong manunulat na si Dr. Jose Rizal. Una niya itong tinula noong 1879 sa Maynila habang nag-aaral siya sa Universidad ng Santo Tomas. Isinulat ang Ala Juventud Filipina ni Rizal noong siya ay 18 taong gulang pa lamang at kanyang inialay para sa mga kabataang Pilipino na kanyang isinalarawan bilang pag-asa ng bayan. Isinalin sa Filipino, itaas ang iyong noong aliwalas, mutyang kabataan sa iyong paglakad, ang bigay ng Diyos sa tanging liwanag, ay pagitawin mo pag-asa ng bukas. Ikaw ay bumaba o katalinuhan, mga puso namin ay naghihintay. Magsahangin ka nga't ang aming isipay, ilipad mo roon sa kaitaasan. Taglayin mo lahat ang kagiliw-giliw na ang silahis ng dunong at sining, kilos kabataan at iyong lagutin, ang gapos ng iyong diwa at damdamin. Masdan mo ang putong na nakasisilaw sa gitna ng dilim ay dakilang alay. Ang putong na yaon ay dakilang alay na nalulugaming iyong inang bayan. O ikaw na iyang may pakpak ng nais at handang lumipad sa rurok ng langit upang kamtang yaong matamis na himig. Doon sa Olimpio yamang nagsisikip. Ikaw na ang tinig ay lubhang mairog, awit ni Pilomel na sa dusay gamot. Lunas na mabisa sa dusat himutok, ng kaluluwang luksa alipin ng lungkot. Ikaw na ang diwa nagbibigay buhay, sa marmol na batong tigas ay sukdulan, at ang alaalang wagas at dalisay sa iyo'y nagiging walang kamatayan. At ikaw o diwang mahal kaya Peles, sinuyo sa wika ni Pebong Marikit, o sa isang putol na lonang makitid, nagsalin ng kulay at ganda ng langit. Hayon na ngayon dito papag-alabin mo, ang apoy ng iyong isip at talino, ang magandang ngalay ihasik sa mundo, at ipagbansagan ang dangal ng tao, o dakilang araw ng tuwa at galak. Magdiwa na ngayon sintang Pilipinas, magpuri sa bayang sa iyo'y lumingap, umakay sa iyo sa magandang palad. Next was El Consejo de los Dioses, or in English, the Council of the Gods. El Consejo de los Dioses, the Council of the Gods, is a play written in Spanish by Filipino writer and national hero Jose Rizal, first published in 1880 in Manila by the Liceo Artístico Letario de Manila in 1880 and later by La Solidaridad in 1883. Next po, Bray. Next. May isa pa po. Back. Sige, that's it. Wait.
Hello, Alvar, tapos na ba?
Wait. Okay, so some of his work also, Junto al Pasig, Beside the River, Mi Peden versus You Ask Me for Verses, 1882 in Alas Flores de
Puta tan
Heidelberg,
research pa
To the
galit yun.
Flowers of Heidelberg, Notas a la Obra, Sucesos de las Filipinas, for El Dr. Antonio de Morga, Notes on Philippine Events by Dr. Antonio de Morga, 1889. P. Jacinto Memorias de un Estudiante de Manila, P. Jacinto Memoirs of a Student of Manila in 1882, and Diario Via de Norte America, Diary of Voyage to America. Bakwa bro, wala pa. Okay, so for brief explanation only, they asked me for verses, or Mipeden verses, reflects how sad it was for Rizal to be able to steer emotions through his poems but have them stiff by the Spaniard. Rizal poem below was written while he was a member of Circulo Hispano Filipino. Junto al Pasig, one of his little-known literary pieces that he wrote for the Jesus for the Feast of Immaculate Conception, where the Virgin of Antipolo and its feast procession was immortalized, while it gives an interesting plot on the Filipinos' Catholic faith in its long-forgotten paganism. We will also look on his devotion to the Virgin of Antipolo and how it influenced his life and writing, including this play until his death in 1896. Rizal and the Virgin of Antipolo in his younger age. So, Junto al Pasig, Beside the Pasig, a one-act zarzuela in Spanish written by Philippine national hero Jose Rizal was staged by the Academy of Spanish Literature members on December 8, 1880. Rizal wrote it to honor Nuestra Señora de la Paz y Buen Viaje de Antipolo, Our Lady of Peace and Good Voyage. Even when Rizal already graduated from the Ateneo, and while he is already studying medicine in the University of Santo Tomas, or UST, he remained close to the Jesuits as president of the Academy of Spanish Literature, and through his skills in writing he was asked to contribute to the celebration of the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, the college patrons. Memoirs of a student in Manila by Jacinto, a pen name of Jose Rizal. This is the student who was wrote Dr. Jose Rizal. He wrote it from 1879 to 1881, from the age of 17 to 20. And also, Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, Tagalog, mga kaganapan sa isla ng Pilipinas. Ito ay isang aklat na isinulat at inilathala ni Antonio de Morga na itinuring na isa sa pinakamahalagang gawa sa unang kasaysayan ng kolonisasyong Espanyol ng Pilipinas. So, Rizal death. Next po, bro. Pagkatapos ng mga kanyang naisulat, si Rizal sa kanyang pagbabalik sa Pilipinas, pagbaril sa Bagong Bayan. Next. No. Back. I mean back. 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 So, that's it. Isang litrato ng pagbaril kay Rizal sa Bagong Bayan ay inatasan na bumaril kay Rizal ay isang hanay ng mga Filipinong kasapi ng Hukbong Kastila, abang isa pang hanay ng mga Kastilang kasapi ng Hukbong Kastila upang barilin ang sino man sa kanila na susuway. Kinunan ng mga manggagamot ng Hukbong Kastila ang pulso ni Rizal at ito'y normal. Pinatahimik ng isang Sorheto ang mga Kastilang at sumigaw sila ng biba at iba pang katagang pabor sa Kastila. Kasama ang mga manonood na karamihan ay mga mestisong Kastila at ang kanyang huling salita ay consummation is o natapos na. And that is the story of Dr. Jose P. Rizal, also known Jose Rizal. Next.
Next presenter, Creme Ariola.
So, Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Marcelo H. Del Pilar is popularly known for his pen name of Laridel, Pulpo, Pipi, Pilat, and Dolores Manapat. He established the Ajarong Tagalog in 1883, where he exposed the evils of the Spanish government in the Philippines. Marcelo Hilario Del Pilar y Katmaitan, commonly known as Marcelo H. Del Pilar and also known by his pen name Laridel, was a Filipino writer, lawyer, journalist, and Freemason. Del Pilar, along with Jose Rizal and Graciano Lopez Jaena, became known as the leaders of the reform movement in Spain. So, we all know that Marcelo H. Del Pilar is one of the members of La Solidaridad Ilustrados in Spain, and they try to struggle to push changes in the Philippines. So Marcelo Hilario Del Pilar, born on August 30, 1850 in Bulacan, died on July 4, 1896 on Old Hospital de la Santa Cruz. So Marcelo Hilario Del Pilar Gatmaitan, August 30, 1850, July 4, 1896, commonly known as Marcelo Del Pilar. Del Pilar was born and brought up in Bulacan. He was suspended at the Universidad de Santo Tomas and imprisoned in 1869 after he and the parish priest quarreled over exorbitant baptismal fees in the 1880s. He expanded his anti-friar movement from Malolos to manipulate, went to Spain in 1888. After an order of banishment was issued against him 12 months after his arrival in Barcelona, he succeeded Lopez Jaena as editor of the La Solidaridad publication. The newspaper stopped in 1895 due to lack of funds. Losing hope in reforms, he grew favorable of revolutions against Spain. He was on his way home in 1896 when he contracted tuberculosis in Barcelona. He later died in a public hospital and was buried in Pepper's grave. So, bali sa explanation na ito, si Marcelo ay H. Del Pilar, ay pinaglaban niya yung Pilipinas. Pumunta siya sa Barcelona noong 1888 para ang anti-friar movement ng Malolos.
Siya po ay natuto ng abahada mula sa kanyang ina at pagsusulat ay sa kanyang ingkong natutuhan. Nag-aaral siya sa mataas na paaralan at nagpatuloy siya kolehiyo naman. Pilipinas din. So noong
taong 1988, taong 88 pumunta siya sa Barcelona, Spain para ipaglaban ang karapatan ng Pilipinas. At pagdaw sa 1889, pinalitan niya si Jaena Lopez. Pinalitan niya si Graciano Lopez at bilang editor ng La Solidaridad publication. The newspaper stopped in 85. Pero sa 1895 na lack of funds po sila, yung pera ng Pilipinas ay pinapadala sa Spain. Pero dahil sa wala na siyang pera, ginamit niya ang sarili niyang pera para ipagpatuloy ang kanyang sinimulan na 1895 La Solidaridad. Pero namatay din siya sa sakit na tuberculosis. So this is his book and writings. Pag-ibig sa Tinubuang Lupa, Love of Country. Marcelo H. Del Pilar were to Spain in prison after questioning the excessive baptismal fee in a certain hindi, hindi, sorry. Sige na. Pag-ibig sa tinubuang lupa, so love of country. So this essay is the first article written by Rizal when he went to Barcelona, Spain, when he was 21 years old. He did it so that he could make a poem to serve as a memorial for our Filipinos, for the motherland. Many possess the wealth of it. It is only in glorious peace that even those who have left and immigrated continue to be carried out for the love of the motherland, given praise and identity, but it also gives distance to the land over and even sometimes forget the origins like the Filipinos, immigrants, aware that gradually leaving their own land, the motherland still remains. Despite his loss and suffering because of his strong faith, he can still be happy. The mountain dwellers who have a simple life have vivid memories of their homeland. Our memories strengthen our connections to the motherland, where it makes us feel good when we are in our homeland, or deep sadness when we are away here. We feel intense of memories of our hometown. Let not treat those who come to our homeland badly, because if we treat foreigners badly, they will have a complex memories of our term. From birth to death, we have our patriotism like the farmers born on their own land died while fighting for the claim land. So dito sa pag-ibig sa tinubuang lupa, ito ay pinagtanggol ni Marcelo S. del Pilar si Dr. Jose Rizal. Si Dr. Jose Rizal ay pumunta sa Barcelona, Spain noong 21 years old pa lang siya para ipaglaban kung ano yung nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas. Para mayroon tayong memorial of our Filipinos, like para sa in the future. Kagaya ngayon, future natin, meron tayong alaala kung ano yung mga kabayanihan na ginawa noong panahon ng mga Kastila. At ang sinasabi din dito sa pag-ibig sa tinubuang lupa, ang mga ang isinilang dito sa mga bundok na nabuhay dito simula pagkabata nila hanggang sa namatay sila. Mayroong mga ibang mga tao dito ay namatay sa pakikipaglaban dahil sa inaagawang lupa. So dito naman tayo sa number 2. So dito sa Marcelo H. del Pilar was kaingat kayo, be careful. Bye marang mali man yung kanya upang sunod-sunod niya. Pero okay lang, sige lang. Marcelo H. del Pilar essay entitled Kaingat Kayo is truly insult, which shows the conditions of the Philippines during the Spanish period. It is stated here how the friars used the name of our God for their persona benefit. One of them is the Padre Jose Rodriguez, a truly respected and powerful friar with a booklet named Kaingat Kayo, who say that Filipinos only follow his sermons and do not read other books, because by following him, you can be sure that heaven is yours and eternal glory. Padre Jose Rodriguez issues 2 booklets with the aim of criticizing by Dr. Jose Rizal, one translated into Tagalog and the other one is the Spanish. And if we read silly, we will realize how Julius Padre Rodriguez is of Dr. Jose Rizal. He openly said that the Rizal was ruthless and stupid because of his writings, which were horrible atrocities against God and Spain. That's why Rizal thought of this fiction, that if there is a compassionate cure, we can learn the cure for illness for our peoples and beloved people. One of Rizal cries in the evil, even Christ could not endure when he was still here. Christ did not tolerate the trade in the temple. It was not forgiven, immediately punished, and Jesus scourged the temple's traders. This trade in the temples and the R that is repeated in the Philippines is expected to teach the word of God. He is the one who pretends to be the successors of Christ, are the instigator of the violations of Christ, and nothing is not traded with him. The church, our God, is traded, who accordingly to their teachings will not have mercy on us if we do not give money to the priests on earth. The friars in the Philippines sell him every day at wholesale or retail. Here they will pay for the whole person of Jesus in his writings. He expressed his sadness when the Spanish friars the name of Jesus for their self-interest. So dito sa ingat kayo sa Marcelo H. Del Pilar essay. So, bale, ang nangyari dito, si Padre Jose Rodriguez ay nainggit kay Dr. Rizal o natamaan sa sinulat ni Dr. Jose Rizal no ay yung which is the Noli Me Tangere. Kasi ang sinulat ni Dr. Jose Rizal na Noli Me Tangere ay about sa mga friars na pang-aapi or pinagpeperahan nila ang mga Pilipino sa atin para kumita sila. So, meron din sinabi dito sa according to their teachings will not have mercy on us if we do not give money. Pag hindi ka magbibigyan ng salapi, ay hindi ka bibigyan patatawarin ganun. Tapos, merong ginawa si Padre Jose Rodriguez ng dalawang booklets which is translated into Tagalog and isa sa Spanish. At kapag ating itong babasahin, malalaman talaga natin na si Dr. Jose Rizal ay kinaiinggitan niya. So the goal of this essay is to persuade and demand change from the revealed truth in our social situations that we present. It can be seen that at the end of this essay, Marcelo Del Pilar told us to emulate those walking on the other side. There is an important destination that even if the dog is barking, it will continue. The walk is not paying attention to the noise of the barn. The essay also wants to inform us that we can learn to take a stand and continue, and he will not fall. We must be strong and continue what we will fight for his side. So anong sinasabi dito ni Marcelo H. Del Pilar? Ang gusto niya dito sa essay na ito is para mamulat ang sambayan ng Pilipino sa paghihirap na